demonstrated professional growth, extensive involvement in IWLA and in other professional organizations, leadership, and excellence in teaching. It is a true pleasure to give the 2017 Distinguished Service Award to Carissa Chung Benke. I know that Carissa is ready to come up here and talk and cry a little and be a little bigger than me. She's already crying. But I do want to give a few highlights for those of you who may not know her just yet. She has taught Spanish at Prairie View School in Waukee since 2006. She was a dean at Concordia Spanish Language Village, El Lago del Bosque, for 15 years. She has been an IWLA Executive Board member, and she received the IWLA Educator of the Year Award in 1997. She has been the IWLA Program Chair for many years, so she is the one who pretty much keeps the conference sessions organized. Her work is mostly invisible to people attending the conference, but let me assure you, her hand is in every single session that you will be attending today and tomorrow. I'll also share that Carissa is an IWLA machine. Getting people nominated for awards, bringing people to the conference, encouraging them to present, representing Iowa, the Central States Regional Organization. I suppose it is not surprising given that her mother was one of the founding members of IWLA. She was raised with it. In her words, building the relationship is key. I want my students to see me as a person, to know who I am and what I'm passionate about, and I want to know those same things about them. Carissa's nominators wrote letters that speak directly to the amazing impact she has had on them and her students. I'd like to share some of their words here. Stephanie Prine wrote, I could and still can count on Carissa to offer guidance in any situation, whether it be a lesson plan, an assessment, an uncomfortable situation with a parent or a student, or opportunities for professional growth. She's always quick to lend an activity or materials, and she shares her knowledge exuberantly. She showed me what it means to be a caring, committed, and effective educator. She does not do this with lip service. Her life is a testament to the power of world language education. Lonnie O'Grady said, we all remember writing the drop of water in a pond and one person at a time to change the world essays we wrote in our professional portfolios. But Carissa did not just write a metaphor. For the last 30 years, she has lived it. I can honestly say that thousands, yes, I say thousands of hearts have been touched, all because of this one woman. If there really is a superwoman, I think we have found her. She's going to make me cry. Susan Sandhill Peterson. On the door at the entrance to her classroom is a picture of Carissa, holding out the world and the message, I challenge. For 30 years, Carissa has opened the door to authentic and successful language learning for her students. For 30 years, she has challenged both students and teachers to continual learning and excellence. For 30 remarkable years, Carissa Benke has challenged us all to create community by gifting her extraordinary dedication, leadership, and service to students and teachers, to world languages education, and to the Iowa World Language Association, and always with that sonrisa and with joy. Please join me in recognizing Carissa Chung Benke, the recipient of our 2017 Distinguished Service Award.
That's what I'll need. And I didn't prepare anything because there was no point. I get too emotional. So I want to thank Linda Quinn Allen for choosing this year's theme, because she didn't know when she chose it, and I didn't know when she chose it, that it was going to fit so perfectly with why I've been involved in IWLA for so long and why I'm so honored to receive this award. Because when I came to IWLA as a student at UNI, that's when I first started. So I've been 30 years in a row as a teacher, but I'm not even sure how many years I attended as a student first. When I first came, it was an opportunity to go places I had never anticipated and to meet people who would be my family for 30 years. A lot of those people aren't with us today, and some of us cry a lot when some of them in particular are mentioned. And I have to mention Michael Oates right at the beginning, because so many of you didn't have the opportunity to know him and to work with him and to be fashioned as a result of that. Michael Oates was the personification of IWLA in the 80s when I started attending, and in the 90s, and eventually we were colleagues, and I called him Mike. Weird. But he was the one who, through IWLA, taught me to bring people along. Now, I had learned that message at home very early on. My mother, as was mentioned, Bee Chung, is a founding member of IFLA at the time. Way back, she was working at UNI. And honestly, I was blessed by my family and the things that my parents, both educators, taught me. The fact that they sent me to the lab school, some tears right there, because that's gone. But it was amazing, and all of our teachers were incredible, and they were people, and we knew them. Language teachers, science teachers, sorry, sweetheart, my husband teaches science, I hate science. But I love my science teachers. Do I hate science? I don't know, I'm sorry. But I love my science teachers, and I learned that at the lab school, and I continued that at UNI, and UNI just naturally led me to IWLA because the people who were running it at the time were here. I guess the thing I'm most excited about this award is actually that I have all these people sitting with me today. People who know me well know that I love to combine anything with the people that I love, like anything. Candy used to take trips to Minnesota with the German students and the Spanish students, and she'd invite me and Bruce to go along as chaperones. And so I'd call my brother David, and he'd call our friend Chuck, and we'd get a whole group. And Candy would say, "Your whole family's here." I know, it's more fun that way. So my family's here today. My mom Bee is here. My oldest brother David, those of you who know me from Facebook, yes, he had open heart surgery 2 weeks ago.
Today.
And he's here, he's doing great, but I mean, he's here with me in Des Moines. This is his first big trip. My brother Brian. My closest brother, he is a year, 2 months, and 4 days older than me. That's why my name is Kika. Thanks, PJ. He's here with me, supporting me today. My wonderful husband, Bruce, who's been with me. Oh my goodness. We have an IWLA conference, Bruce is half in charge. I run the camp, Bruce is half in charge. Anything that I do, Bruce is half in charge of it. He makes sure it gets done. And I appreciate that. And the other people that are seated with me today, honestly, I needed 2 tables, it's ridiculous, but I have 3 other Distinguished Service Award winners who are seated with me today. Susan Sandholm Peterson nominated me. Thank you, my dear friend. And Pochi actually is here she's representing all of you and I. Pochi is not my professor because I'm too old. But that's okay, her husband Jaime was my professor, and none of my professors are still teaching, so Pochi is here representing, and Mary is here as well. And then I have several people with me from each of my schools. I taught with Mary Ann Sandberg in Manchester, and we've been in this IWLA thing the entire time. She's here with me. In fact, she passed the gavel to me when I became president. Thank you for that. Candy Sherwood and I taught in Manchester. No, we didn't. Valley High School. We became best friends at IWLA. We stayed up all night, found out all the things we had in common. We had no idea we had so much in common. I think it was obvious to everyone else. Then I went to Valley Southwoods. Lisa Sabatka, I want to say Leventhal. We taught together for 9 years. She came along to IWLA. Oh, remember I said I like to bring people along. So Lisa came along to IWLA. She served as program chair for many years. Best of Iowa 3 times, once by herself, 2 times with the group, both with me. Just gonna say. Then I've been in Waukee for 12, 13? I don't know, a long time. I've been in Waukee for a long time now, and Kate Falvey and I started at Prairie View together, and she left us. People keep leaving me. Susan, actually, when I applied, I was applying to work with Susan. And then when I got there, my principal said, Susan transferred to the middle school. What? I left West Des Moines to come work with Susan, and Susan's not there anymore. It's okay, from the middle school, she still had her hand in everything, and she still does as a substitute in our district. She's amazing. Okay, so IWLA took me to places I've never been. One of the places was Concordia Language Villages. I did not hear about that as a child. I never knew what it was. The first time I heard about it was at IWLA. And it was back in the day when there was a lot of, there were scholarships, and they were giving away Carver grants to attend the teacher seminars. And I attended, and it changed my life. It changed the way I teach. It changed the way I was a person. It brought me this Concordia Language Villages family that I wouldn't have had. And it really started in IWLA. And I eventually became dean, and I was dean for 16 years. And I have Paulino, my first assistant dean. I have Marcos, my last assistant dean. Alicia was my assistant dean in between there. Laura, credit teacher. Dulcita ran the 2-week program and was amazing. Some of them are here from Minnesota to be with me today. And I don't even know what to say, but it's Concordia Language Villages and it's my other family. But also at this table, Nathan was in a class that I took, and this is an announcement. Nathan was in a class that I taught this summer. I was invited to step in because someone couldn't finish. It was this course for the Masters. Help me out, Nathan.
Masters of Concordia.
Concordia College.
Masters of World Language
Masters
Instruction.
of World Language. You have that degree. Anyway, I stepped in to teach the assessment class. And the cohort was amazing. And Nathan is an Iowa teacher, and he's a gem. He will be presenting next year, correct, Nathan?
Sure. For you.
This is how she does
This year
it.
he was too busy, he's working on his research, he just got married, he's in a new job. I said, well, we could do something together. He said, next year, Kika. So just watch for his name and attend his session. So he was in my class this summer, and they've asked me to teach that class in the future, so this next summer. And other than working with young people, I love working with teachers and with pre-service teachers or young teachers, so that's what I'll be doing next. I'll still be teaching 8th and 9th graders too. And then Annika is sitting with my group here today because she is my current practicum student. And I love having teachers in the classroom and trying to encourage them and inspire them to find their place here at IWLA. If you've been in my classroom, I've talked to you about IWLA and said, you have to come. There's no other option. Because this place IWLA will take you places and will allow you to meet people and allow you to become the person that you were really meant to be. And it's really on the shoulders of all of my teachers starting back at the lab school. Rosa Maria de Finley taught us Spanish in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and she is from Puerto Rico, and she shared her culture, and she shared her love of language and culture and people with us. And then I was blessed to have 4 high school French teachers in 4 years. It was great. I learned so much from 4 very different people, but Jim Becker, who was also an icon in IWLA, and he instilled in all of us that went to the lab school this desire to travel and to see the world, and not as a tourist, but to really experience it. But I have to just mention my mom and end with my mom and dad briefly. I've attended IWLA for 30 years straight, and there's 1 year that I only attended on Friday. And that's because, I was president actually that year. I was president of IWLA, but I only attended on Friday because my father passed away the week before. And Daddy had been really sick. He had stomach cancer, but he was so looking forward to coming to IWLA because Lisa and I were giving a presentation, and he really hadn't been out of the house, because he wasn't doing very well. But he said, Kika, I'm going to be there. I've been telling the doctors, he was just so excited to come to the conference. He passed away before then, and so he didn't make it to the conference. And I was out of school for a week, and then I drove to Cedar Rapids and Marianne. Everybody on the board at the time was there and came around me and supported me. And people said, you know, why are you going to this conference? You know, your dad just passed away and the funeral's on Saturday. And I said, because these are the people that I want to be with. These are the people that are family to me. My dad came to the IWLA conference for years with Mommy. In fact, they celebrate their anniversary in October. And we used to have dances, by the way, which were fun. And Bruce would come and my dad would come. And someone, I was only the one that did it the first year, someone would always tell the band or the DJ, it's Roy and B's anniversary. And they would play a special song, whatever song they chose, but a special song for my parents. My dad was there when I won Educator of the Year, and he was very, very proud. Mom has been saying to me for years, she's been retired. I said, Mom, why are you coming to the conference? She says, because one of these years you're going to get that award. And I want to be there when you do. So, Mommy, this award is for you, and Daddy, and all the things that you taught us, not just me, but the whole family. I love you, and my IWLA family, my Concordia Language Villages family. Thank you very much.